It's Monday, November 1st, 2010, 12 p.m. I now call the General Assembly meeting of the Student Senate of Johnson County Community College to order. I will now take an adoption of the minutes from previous week on page 2. Please overview all the minutes from previous week and also an adoption of this week's agenda.
Motion to adopt the agenda of the minutes.
Second.
Second.
All right, thank you. Do I have an adoption for this week's agenda?
Adoption for this week's minutes.
Second? Thank you. All right, we don't have a guest welcome today besides Pat, who is on meeting number 2 for the second time. Next week, he will be a senator, so I'm looking forward to having you here next week. If you can't get the door, just knock really hard. I'm sure one of us will vote you in from outside. So no guest welcome, but we will be making a few changes on our agenda quite quickly. The Healing the Paper Cut initiative by the Secretary will be moved up to number 1. The Autism Spectrum Group, since the Vice President is absent today at a track meet, will be moved to next Monday, and the Exec Board GPA requirements will be continued after the Secretary goes as the second agenda item. So, Mr. Secretary, I'll now yield the time over to you.
Thank you. All right, if you guys turn your page over to page 2, you can see where I've created a form letter for this Healing the Paper Cut. First of all, I'll give an explanation of what this is for those of you who don't already know. In the Senate's Green Committee, we came up with an idea to address the current issues with the 200-page flat rate print limit at the school. Seeing as how that 200-page flat rate printing only applies to everybody, you can have a situation where you have, say, students who are signed up for tennis and golf who are getting to print 200 pages, where then you have other students who are signed up for creative writing and journalism who are also held to that same 200 limit, who may have to exceed that, and then at this point, based on this program, would have to incur a cost to print any more pages. So, in discussion of all of this, we tried to figure out a way that we could possibly fix this problem to have the print limit actually tailored based on the actual courses itself, since that seems to be the most relevant way to have any of this trackable. From my understanding, the whole paper cut program is to eventually move the school to a paperless system. By having this particular plan in place, what we're asking then is that a teacher, whenever they go and have to submit for, say, their textbook, whatever textbook they're going to use for the semester, they also go and put in an estimate as far as how many pages a student attending that course would need to print in the semester. By having that number submitted in there, the school will be able to actually know who's using how much paper. They'll have quantifiable statistics to show by department, by teacher, who's using the most amount of paper and where they may need to actually train some of these other teachers or instructors to get them up to speed on how to use the paperless technology that we already have in place. In addition to that, by having the paper signed up for, it would work as basically an account. So whenever you go and you sign up for your courses, based on the estimates that the teachers provided, you accumulate a balance of the number of pages that you're allowed to print for the semester. As you print the number of pages, it deducts from that balance. And once your balance has reached 0, then you start having to pay money for printing. That way the actual print limit is relevant to the course rather than a flat rate. The other benefit that the school gains by having this done this way is that they'll better be able to financially forecast their need and use of paper. So in order to actually move us to a paperless school, we need to actually have some sort of quantifiable numbers to see by department or by teacher who's using the most amount of paper. And also that way it'll help identify where training needs need to be met to bring staff up to speed with the technology that's in place to eventually get this to go. So the thing, in order to get this is kind of a joint combination here between the Green Committee and the PR. What we're going to ask to do is have all the senators go and take this form letter and send it out to all of your instructors. And then we're going to, in the next day or 2, I'll send an email out with everybody that has this form letter. And we'll also have an email address of an account for the teachers who are supporting this idea, even if they don't support it, just to send their name job title and whether they stand, whether they're in support of this or against it. And if they're against it, their argument why. Because from so far, the only argument I've heard against it is that people don't want to take the time to figure out how many pages they're going to have to estimate. And that's really kind of a weak argument, in my opinion. So what we're going to do is to have an email address set up so that people can send, whether they support or against it, the arguments, send the emails to this address. So look, check your emails in the next day or two. You get the email about with this form letter. Basically, all you need to do is type the teacher's name in here and your name, what class you're taking with that teacher, and then send it off to all your teachers individually. And this is how we'll start to get this. Once we have, the plan is that once we have at least half of the full-time staff teachers on campus in support of this idea, that should be more than enough to be able to raise this up to the next level to actually be able to get this whole initiative enacted. So, does anybody have any questions? Josh?
Not that I'm not in support, because I am in support of this idea. It seems like a great idea. I think we discussed it at Interclub Council meeting with Senate, or SEA, Student Environmental Alliance, and we kind of came up with the idea there. That might not be the origin of the idea. Anyway, my question is, what do we do if we don't get half the teachers and full-time staff? Or, you know, obviously we're going to try to, but what happens if we don't?
Maybe this sounds somewhat arrogant, but I highly doubt that that's really going to be an issue.
Okay.
It's my personal mission that I will get at least half of the staff in support of this idea.
Okay.
But if such case does arise, then we'll go back to the drawing board and figure something else out.
All right.
Rebecca?
Well, I just want to say, I was at the Interclub Council meeting as well, and there was a teacher there for Active Minds. I think it was Susie Simpson, and she said that we probably won't get a very good response from it. So I just want to fair warn you.
I'm prepared.
Okay. That's like, I'm very much in support of this, but just want to fair warn you about the teacher's
Thanks.
opinion of it.
Appreciate it. Anybody else have any other questions?
Just opposite of that, I know from the top of my head a few teachers who would definitely be interested to do this.
Great. Then yeah, we'll try to get as many people on board. Obviously, the more teachers we get that start talking about it, they'll start even talking to other teachers, and they can start showing them the benefit of it, because it benefits not only the school, but the students as well. And it also helps to actually give numbers to facilitate the goal of eventually becoming a paperless school.
That's great.
So, anybody has any other questions, then we'll move on from there. Also, if you have any other ideas or ways to improve this, the Senate Green Committee meets immediately following the General Assembly every other Mondays.
Is that a change? Every other Monday? No. News to me. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So I'm not on the loop on that one. Thank you, Gary, that was great. That was great. All right. Real quickly, before we move into our ever so heated debate about the GPA, which I'm excited about, Mindy would like to make a quick announcement before her advisor announcements.
What? I thought you were doing this.
I'd like to make a quick announcement.
Well,
If you could come up.
we can do this together.
Yeah, that would be great.
Basically, we would like to take this moment to thank Teresa and Rebecca for Friday.
Yes.
Oh, hi. You guys did a tremendous job of pulling together this program, especially on short notice, and Rebecca had never done a program before. Not only did they pull off a great program, we had great attendance, lots of kids stopping in, we all had a lot of fun.
A little too much.
Yeah, but so on behalf of us, we wanted to say thank you, so we got you a little gift. Thank you guys.
I may be cheap, but I would say those are some pretty nice duffel bags. And anybody else who wants to put on an event, if you want a duffel bag and try to get my cheap streak to leave before Black Friday, please, I'm more than happy to take that on. But great job, I'm very proud of you. Very, very proud of you. And Teresa, thank you for all your help, and all you senators who helped and who were there. I'm very proud of you as well. I'm looking forward to this November project, which I know is going to be great, which is starting today, which I'll allow for you to take some time throughout open forum for that. real quick, there was one other thing that I was going to say while I was over here. There's a big announcement from Executive Board to all of you. I think you all might enjoy as some payback for us. On Friday when we were at the event, Golden Girls were there. Some dance team members were there, and of course there are Golden Girls and whatnot. And so Emir and I, who happen to think that we'd be more than qualified to be on the Golden Girls dance team, decided. What'd you say? The Golden Boys, that's right, because we are pretty dang golden up here. We decided to try to give them a run for their money and show how high we could kick and do some dance routines and splits and whatnot. We did just fine. They still don't buy it, so what we decided to do as an executive board, we're going to get this one on board, but the rest of us, young men up here on board, is to switch with the Golden Girls for one day, have them run the executive board, run a GA as executive board for us to go to a game, perform in their uniforms, not the boots, but in their uniforms as Golden Boys for charity. So we wanted to kind of know what you all thought of that. Great idea. I think we'll probably have full attendance when we set it up. Of course we're going to charge. My legs in that uniform, you better believe we're going to charge. But that's a big idea that we're going to work on with the Golden Girls. And so if you see some of them up here, give them a whole heap of trouble. Please do. And we're going to go to their practices coming a couple weeks. Once we talk to Amy, we'll figure out how we're going to work this out. And you'll have to start shaving your legs. Moving on to the next order of business. I'll now yield the time to the parliamentarian, and I'll allow for him to entertain a motion to discuss, to have an open discussion on the GPA. Yeah.
Since we didn't have enough time last week to finish this discussion about changing GPA, and we're going to continue to talk about it today, and also Mindy and I, we checked some colleges to see what is their requirement executive board GPA. Some were 2.0 and some of them were 2.5. And since we are like top 5, is it top 5? How's it going to go with college?
Yeah, top 3.
Top 3 community college in the entire nation. We need a high standard for that. We just want to see if you guys have any idea, want to talk about it.
I'm not open
Today,
before
it's open for discussion.
I
Mindy.
will clarify, the school that had 2.5, that was just for e-board. And then the 2.0s, some were just for e-board, some of them were for the entire Senate.
And right now, to clear that up for everybody, we're at the entire Senate, where it's a 2.0.
So I want to ask a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
When you guys doing your research, did you find any school that was higher than 2.5 for your executive board?
No, a lot of schools didn't have that information online though, and so we would actually need to contact them as well. But nothing was higher than a 2.5, and it was only one school.
How many schools did you guys actually contact or look up?
It wasn't very much, probably between 5 and 10.
And the recommendation, this has also been talked about, I think it's pretty safe to say, with Pam Bassard. And she is under the, what was that again, Mindy?
She wanted us to look at all of the leadership positions on campus,
Yeah.
the different ambassador positions, things like that, because they are currently, she's not 100%, but she believes that they're all right about a 2.0 as well.
Okay. So, except for the glory children of Psi Beta Kappa. Phi Theta Kappa, that's what I said. That's what I said. So,
I personally believe that 2.5, to increase to 2.5 would be sufficient in that we're setting the bar higher without being excessive. Because like you said, some of us, I know I can speak for myself, and then I almost 9 times out of 10 put in at least a 40-hour week here at school. So being able to try to maintain, not that I can't do that, but you don't want to add extra pressure on top of everything else, because you want to turn out quality work and not rushed work at the last minute. So I think an increase to 2.5 would satisfy the whole idea that we're doing and moving forward and raising the bar, but do it within the reasonable means.
Pat?
Just out of curiosity, if this did pass, when would it go into effect?
Next year, next executive board.
Election.
So we would still be in office, unfortunately, for the rest of the year, in case any of you were trying to raise it so high that we get out. And by the way, just so everyone knows, for the record, everyone here on the executive board is well above the 2.0, so there's no worries about that. You don't have any dummies up here. Well, John's not here. So. I'll tell you about that.
It's going on baseball.
Oh, good Lord. Again, and I'll reiterate my qualms with it. I think it's a great idea. I think that we should raise the bar, but I want to be very careful about this. And I think give and take with the parliamentarian and I have been discussing for the past couple of weeks now. I think a 2.5 is submittable. Should it take effect with the next executive board? I think that's just fine. I think it's too late to change it now with this executive board. And I also believe that that executive board should be a 2.5, rest of the Senate at a 2.0, and that way it gives us time to start working on changing the requirements for the scholarships and seeing how transfer credits can be with everything like that.
Constitution updates.
Yeah, constitutional. Yeah, Josh.
Well, I don't see why senators can't be held to the same standard as exec board.
Josh, I'm very proud of you for saying that.
I mean, I don't think I see why we shouldn't have a 2.5 also.
I think the reasoning behind that, or do you mind if I say?
No, please go
Okay.
ahead.
I think the reason that behind that, keeping it at the 2.0, although yes, in theory, it's a great idea, the only reason against that is that you would want to be able to, a 2.0 equivalates to a C, which is an average. So you don't want to set the bar and the requirements for the senators who are representing the student body as a whole to be higher than average. You kind of basically are looking for, obviously we all here are above average, but we would like to be able to have it open for the average student to be able to come in, to become a senator, become involved. Once getting into the Senate and seeing what all they can do and how they can actually help in their actions and further the development and positive image of the school, that may actually in turn inspire them to raise the GPA from a 2 to a 2.5 to make them eligible to become part of the executive board.
It's also like what my granddaddy used to say. When he went to go vote for, in any election whatsoever, who did he vote for? People who were like him. So he went to go vote for President Bush, who was a smooth-talking Southerner with cowboy hat wearing beer man, who he voted for somebody who he could have a beer with twice. I'm just saying, maybe people want to vote for people who are like them. That's what my granddad used to say.
If you limit the scope too much, you also limit the availability for people. And again, once you get in and once you get started at the 2.0 as a senator and you want to end up moving into that executive board position, it gives you the drive and the desire to actually put in more work and do the time to actually prove yourself, which will help only further your ability to be a better senator. And also, when you have to campaign for your position, you have something to actually show about how you got in and improved and built upon this in order to achieve and get that position.
Okay. And before you know it, another 40 years, it could be up to a 3.0. You never know. If it's taken 40 years for it to go to 2.5, you never know what could happen in that 40.
I was just gonna say, I guess it kind of seems like a step up. Like if you're in the GA, then, you know, that's your first step, and then the next step would be exec board, which makes sense that it would be higher than.
And also remember this, this was a whole negotiation process between the two of us, between all of us, as a matter of fact. Remember that should anything happen, what we've always had is a policy of open floor debate here in the Senate for you to come and plead your case in front of all the senators. That say you needed a 2.5, but you had a 2.0 for some reason, whatever. You could plead your case to become a candidate for executive board from here on the floor of the Senate, and the Senate would vote to allow for you to be on the ballot, yay or nay. Simple as that. That's happened before. The person, as a matter of fact, who it happened to was successful and won the election. So it could definitely happen again. Although it did cause some controversy here in the Senate. It's very close as well. I will say that. Anything else?
I just want to ask them, does anybody have, let let's just do a show of hands. Does anybody at this point have a problem with the executive board GPA being risen to 2.5? Raise your hand if you have, and if you still have an issue with that happening. Okay, I'm just gonna get an idea where everybody's standing on that.
Okay. Mr. Parliamentarian, I'll allow for you to, since we're all in agreement with, I think, 2.5, and I don't, and correct me if I'm wrong, we do not need a vote today because we need a week in advance, which we'll take a vote on it next week. So if you would go with the secretary and the treasurer and prepare the language for the Constitution so we can change that, that'd be fine. And then we'll bring it back to be voted on in the Senate next week by GA, and hopefully we'll have. Yeah. Sound good? Good. All right. That's what the gavel's for. We're moving pretty quickly today. Executive board announcements. We'll start with the treasurer, work our way down.
We're not gonna have a meeting this Tuesday, but I want everyone in the budget committee to send me in, because we're gonna have a new piece of paper put on front of the budget request, which is gonna put requirements or what we expect from people turning in requests, so it makes it easier for them. And that's about it.
I think that's great. I was coming for the snacks this week anyway, but I guess you're not gonna have
It
it.
was just last week,
Oh, never
just
mind.
Halloween.
Never mind. Can't wait for Thanksgiving. We will have a service and fundraising meeting. I know we missed last two, I believe. Last three. First week we had fall break. Second week, it's not a good week. And third week we was this past Friday where we had our 1-4 event. So we will have service fundraising at 2 to 3 Friday, Com 309, the conference room in there. I look forward to seeing all of you in there. And we will get started immediately, starting today, on the November project, which I'm sure you'll have a list of people who you're going to put in charge where and who's going to do what and whatnot. Yes, ma'am? No, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
calling out, I mean, I sent an email to the secretary
All right,
for help.
right.
Yeah.
Publicize it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds great.
Getting it taken care of.
Mr. Parliamentarian, thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Rules and conduct with me today at 1, and Jeremy already talked about the green project. That's all I have.
Okay. PR, Wednesday, 2 p.m., Com 102. If you're unfamiliar with that location, have never been there, not sure where it is, report to CSI and someone will show you and escort you down there. We're going to continue on with the paper cut issue. We're also going to touch on the November service project and what we're going to be doing as far as that goes, and anything else that comes up in the meantime.
Also, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Secretary, I forgot about this. Town Hall, next Student Senate Town Hall is November the 10th at 12 to 1. I can't see Mindy's face. Yes, 12 to 1, November the 10th, in the Cap Fed room in the RC. RC 101B, which I'm pretty sure is, it is in the Cap Fed department area. Last time it's actually the same room that we had last time. There will be food served this time. I expect for all of you senators to bring, how many people?
10.
I said 3. Oh, 10. Well, I mean, if you want to go 10, Mindy.
You also want to say it is now open to everyone on
Yes.
campus, not just organizations.
It is open to the full student body of our campus, so we're looking forward to getting people there. I think one tactic that we found works very well is calling people. Mira and I were here the other night, and we called all the teachers in the history department, and government department, for them to come out for Senator Hall, and we got a good majority of them to come, so I think it'd be a great idea if we all got on the phone and started calling people if we had to, so we'll be putting some of you to work quite quickly here. So we have the town hall. Also, Thanksgiving's coming up, so if somebody wants to do something for Thanksgiving and cook and want to do a potluck or something like that, I think that'd be real nice. We can do something like that, and then I'll now pass it over and yield it to the advisor for her announcements.
I don't have
Oh,
any.
wait.
Well, that's good because I don't have any.
Oh, great. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. One item of business I did forget was the T-shirts. Student Center always gets all the senators' shirts. Number 4. Thank you. Gets all the senators' shirts today, every year. Last year we had shirts. Alicia, do you have yours on? Perfect. This is a shirt that we gave last year. Can you model it? It says Student Senate on the back, JCCC on the front. It's a real nice shirt. We being the fashionistas that we are up here, especially with Mr. GQ, thought we could do some things a little bit different. We wanted to get your opinion on it. Maybe a long sleeve shirt, polo, whatever you feel is necessary, what you would be comfortable in to wear all the time.
Some design submissions.
Yeah, you can submit us some designs. I've given to the executive board one of the shirts that I had student council years ago that I still actually have because it's a really nice shirt. It's that real smooth cotton on you. What's that?
Egyptian cotton.
That's it. Egyptian cotton, 100% Egyptian cotton. Our school colors were navy blue and tan. So our shirt was a polo. It was fully navy blue, and then it had a white collar and navy blue going up the collar. And then on the side, it had our school mascot, which was a Mustang. It said Shadow Ridge HS Student Council. Had our name, our office, our year. Looked very good. Didn't look like a lot. And then it also had the Mustang in the middle of all that. So maybe that'd be a great idea to have. I can bring the shirt in and model it one day. And from there on, just give us some ideas about that, and we'll go on from there.
When would you like to have all our design submissions and ideas submitted by?
I like to have them, we can use it as a holiday gift for everybody here. So it gives you a reason to stay until at least the Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa time. If I'm leaving out a holiday, forgive me. And then also, so let's have it be the 22nd, the Monday that we leave before we go off to, I lied, I'm sorry.
I would strongly suggest making it sooner as far as getting your designs, because then you're gonna have to vote and decide, and then you've got to send them off to get them made, which can be a couple weeks. So I would say I'd
Next
have,
week.
yeah.
Which is, what's next week, the 8th?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have them in by November 8th. Any questions on that? I'll make sure the secretary or publicizer emails you about that. As a matter of fact, I have the shirt. I have a picture of me in that shirt. It was one of my school pictures. I will send it to you and have you pass it along. My goodness, I forgot about that. Really nice shirt. Egyptian cotton feels really nice on it. I've slept in that polo a couple times, let me tell you. Slept like a baby. We'll now go to open forum. Anything for open forum? Rebecca?
There's going to be a toiletry drive. It is for the Center for American Indian Studies because November is Native American Awareness Month, and Teresa and I both have a list of things that they need. So if you guys are interested in getting just at least one item in, that'd be great because they're in great need of a lot of items. So.
I have a lot in my office that you guys can have.
And I think we had some boxes brought up today too. That would be great, that Eric brought up. They may need them. Okay. Did you hear that? Wouldn't that be great? Student Senate donating a whole box of, that'd be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Come on, people. Lord have mercy. Anybody else for open forum? Did anybody else not hear that, what was in the box over here? Rochelle, can you pass it along in telephone? Go on, tell her. Go on.
It's tampons, people.
Well, I didn't want to say it, so. Okay, anything else for, yes?
I know we had talked about this previously,
Mhm.
but just as a request to the exec board, can we try to keep communication going? Because I've had some problems in the past where I've told one exec member and it hasn't traveled to,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if we could try and stay more communication. that'd be-
Absolutely. Absolutely,
amongst each other.
and I talked to the vice president about that. And he and I had a little bit of a discussion on how we can fix that, so I definitely agree, and I'll definitely take that into consideration. Anything else? Also, I will talk to you about that a little bit later, I'll wait. You had a question, you had something to give us about, holiday. I'll go to Teresa next, but Senator Gaki had something on holiday extravaganza.
Well, I was just thinking about having a holiday party at my house.
All right.
Kind of having like a white elephant, maybe potluck, or I can make dinner, whatever, so.
Traditionally, we always throw a holiday party. Last year, as you can see Pat over here laughing, his gift was the worst. But we do either do, a white elephant or a Secret Santa. And we always have the party up in COM 3, what is that? But it was something different last year. Where now COM 319 is, if that's up to the Senate, we can vote on that. That's completely up to them. If they like to have it here again, as it is in tradition or in church place, has no problem. We have no problem with that.
My house is fine, like, my mom goes all out decorating, like, she likes it. Our
Yeah.
house is like a pot out of decorating magazines.
And you know how how loud some of these senators can get. Shut up. So, so just fair warning. We have some crazy people on
They were
executive
here
board.
for the event, my parents were.
Right.
For the house.
And your
They
parents
how
know me
crazy
pretty
we
well.
are.
They know how we have fun. So, Teresa, I'll now move over to you for November project and give a description, anything that you may need.
I sent an email to the secretary of all the things that we need from both the food drive and the clothing drive.
Okay.
And I also want to thank them that they've helped me work on the banners
Okay.
for them. And right now, I have the barrels up in the CSI for the clothing drive, and from the harvesters, they can only send it to us on the 4th. So that might be a little late, but I just want I'll forward all the email to all the senators. But basically, just if you have any of those items lying down at home, or just encourage people to donate, tell them about it.
Well, I was just about to say that we can double up on the days that we've missed, those 4 days that we missed, and I think we'll be just fine. I'm extremely and know that this Senate is capable of anything, each and every one of you. So I'm looking for clothes that you can't fit, you don't wear anymore, that's out of style, last season, 3 seasons, not the right color, it's Labor Day, so you can't have white. Whatever it is, let's bring it, let's get people clothed for the holiday, and let's do it in high numbers and high volumes as well. I have a whole bunch of clothes at home I'm not wearing that I can bring, and blankets as well, so proud of you. Thank you. Keep up
What
the good
about
work.
shoes? Do you guys need shoes?
Do you have a lot of shoes?
I have some that and they're in pretty good condition.
Yeah, because they gave me a whole list of things, that we will be donating.
Yeah.
Shoes was not one of them.
I'll
But
send an email with all the requirements. I'll send a thing with the paper cut letter. I'll send basically a Senate announcements kind of newsletter thing.
And also, upstairs, there are mailboxes for all of you senators that were taken care of this week, that will be done this week and completed by the secretary, in case you didn't know that, you gotta take care of that. And so I would look for mail in each one of your mailboxes, starting at the end of this week. We sent out constitutions, everybody except the new senators, in your email when you first became a senator, but we will give you paper copies of the Constitution. I'm the type of person who likes to have it in front of me in paper form. So we'll have you paper copies of the Constitution, also copies of your student senate picture in your mailboxes, and any other information that we need to give to you to get in touch. So that's going to be another requirement for all you senators, to check your mailboxes on every pretty much daily basis.
Where are they?
Upstairs, you know where the student senate cubicle is in COM 309? It's that big brown, ugly looking mailbox thing up there.
If you have a hard time finding it, we can show you
Yeah, and maybe the secretary can also paint it and put flowers on it.
I don't know about the flowers.
So,
When
I'll-
should we stop by?
I would start on Wednesday. Sound great? Good, good. So I would also say really quick as well, there's one other thing. Look forward to you all having a new executive board full of women for a day coming here shortly. And they shave their legs, they're not like us. And unless somebody does and I don't know about it, it's completely fine with me, it's cool. And then look for us to be in Golden Girl uniforms, but as Golden Boys. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. And we may even record ourselves at practices. Wouldn't that be fun too? They don't know what they're getting themselves into. We can do this, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, are you gonna do that for an actual meeting or for like a mock one or what?
You know what? I think that we're gonna have them come, you mean have them come in?
Yeah.
An actual meeting. And we as executive board will just sit in the back and cause trouble like we always do. And from there, thank you. And from there, we'll go on and we'll be Golden Boys for a day without the boots. We did say no boots. All right? Anything else? They don't make them my size either. I don't think they have a size 13 on that team. And if they do, we're blessed. Anything else? Oh, no. That was me actually picking it up. All right, I'll now entertain a motion to end the meeting. Thank you. Second?
Second.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.